Hi Scorpio, this is your July 2019 Angel Tarot card reading. I am using the Angel Tarot card deck. I'm using the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck, and I'm using a Power Animal Oracle card deck. This one's fairly new for me, so I'm still kind of working through it, but I think it's really providing some very interesting overview and kind of tying in some of the messages. So I'm enjoying working with it. So let's see what it does for you today. Just a quick reminder, these are general readings. Take what resonates, release the rest. If you would like something personalized, you can go to my website, angelawakening.net, or follow the links in the description box below. I've also got some discounts going, so take advantage of those. So I was tuning into your energy, and the cards were like flying out. And okay, hold that thought for 1 second. Okay, sorry, just had to take care of something quickly. I'm sure you appreciate I told you to hold that thought when it's my thought. So the cards are flying out. And one of the first things that just popped in was not only impatience for you guys, but like a real sincere to your core kind of frustration with people dragging their feet, people not doing what they said they were going to do, people telling you one thing, doing another, doing one thing, saying something else, and you're just like so beyond over it. And it's almost more like injustice, but it's not quite that. I don't know if that's quite as dramatic as it is. I think it's, for some of you, I think it's a combination of things that have piled up over time. And this is kind of you just saying these little tiny things, these little needling things, these things that you just let slide. Like I said, people not doing who they said they are, who you thought they were, who they should be. This is personal or professional, and it's really getting under your skin. So whenever we get messages like this, I know it's always very easy to say, very difficult to do. Just doing your best to retreat when you need to, doing your best to find those things that help you relieve tension. Picking up your exercise program again, making nutrition a priority again, meditating if you're into that, deep breathing if you want to try that, yoga, just doing some of the things that decompress and de-stress you is going to be really important, because one of the things I see is the potential for some of you to kind of fly off and almost immediately regret it, and not necessarily regret it because because you have the wrong reaction, because you're probably not going to be in the wrong for doing it, but that it could erode steps that you've taken and all the patience you've had and all the work that you've done to get to this point. And so letting somebody push your buttons, or I know you're not letting, but when someone pushes our buttons like that to the point of no return, when we knew weeks ago that we needed to start doing some things to detach ourselves, either figuring out, all right, if this thing doesn't work out, here's my plan B, or I'm not going to lunch with this person anymore. I can't stand the gossip, or, I need to take another look at our relationship and figure out, do we really want to go to the next step or maybe pull back? I mean, you know, getting ahead of it right now before you burn a bridge is, I think, what this is about. No sense in burning a bridge. This person or people or organization or group or romantic relationship, whatever this could still be important down the road. This could still be beneficial in the future. This could still have a tie to you somehow, is what I'm sensing. So, and it's a tie that could benefit you, maybe even not necessarily the other person. And that could be for some of you why a few people out there are getting triggered, because the other party is seeing that you're really the one who's going to benefit. They are no longer potentially being viewed as mission critical as they were before for some reason. I'm not sure why I'm getting that, but maybe you were in a partnership and now outsiders or third parties or somebody in your circle is seeing you as being really the prominent player. You're really the decision maker. You're really the one keeping things afloat, and you're being seen as the real hero in this case. And this partner of yours is like pushing your buttons to see if they can blow the thing up because they don't like that direction. So the way this could work for some of you is that if it gets blown up and you need this other person's investments, input, finance, they're in a contract, they're in with you somehow, and them bailing on you or them having something on you where they can say, well, such and such said to me yesterday, and go through the list of cuss words that were used. Or, this just could work out in so many different ways. It could be so many different areas. I think you can, if this is resonating at all, I think you can see where I'm heading. If they're pushing your buttons or you're sensing that, it could be because they're frustrated that they're not being perceived as the top dog. And in a romantic relationship, that can just as easily be, someone getting more attention. If you're a, female, maybe you're getting more attention from guys. If you're a male, you're getting more attention from females. If, this is a male-female relationship, or if this is a gay lesbian relationship, obviously I don't, tie in gender to the readings and to the cards. So it's basically just saying other people are, for whatever reason, seeing you as more attractive, more they're more drawn to you. You're more magnetic. You're more charming. They feel like you're doing more of the work. You're bringing more of the ideas. You have more of the relationships. There's something about that. And in a lot of cases, I'm sure it's true. And the other person is starting to feel like, a little bit of a outsider. And instead of just talking to you about it, almost like they prefer to punish you. So let's see if the cards take us in that direction, or they want us to have a completely different topic. 8 of Fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things happening at once. Yep. So a lot going on. First card is a fire card. You are on fire. You're passionate right now. You're and very likely your finances or your investments are wrapped up in this. and things are moving quickly, and yeah, I'm still getting, you're just tired of people dragging their feet, not putting in the work, not doing what they said they were going to do, and you're ready to cut it. You're ready to move forward. You're ready to do this on your own. You're ready to find a new relationship. I mean, whatever this is. And things are going to move fast with or without you making a decision, um, to do something drastic. And that's kind of the blessing and the curse, because you can easily get wrapped up in something and not see what the value is with it staying the way it is. But this is just saying, delays are over and plans can move forward with just a ton of energy. So you could really feel off guard, be caught off guard, and be overwhelmed. But the flip side, the positive side, is that this can also mean that everything that you have dreamt for and manifested is coming true. So, the positive side is things are moving quickly. There's the potential for a lot of optimism and a lot of opportunity to get things done. It's just trying to stay grounded as, you or your immediate circle is really in the spotlight right now. And when your circle is in the spotlight, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And this weak link could just really be rubbing you the wrong way, just really be grating under your last nerve. Like, even just talking about this, I'm just getting, like, my voice is already kind of scratchy, and I'm like drinking water, and I'm trying to, I'm heating up. It's just like there's a frenziness about just wanting, you just want this to go well. You've worked so hard, you want this to go smooth. And this person or these people just aren't seeing it. They're not seeing how important these next steps are, how important this next phase is. And you're seeing it. You're seeing that this dream is absolutely possible right now. It's possible for you to grab it. So if you are in a contract with someone, or you are in a partnership, the only thing I'm getting is it's just really important to try to remember, they could win in court because you guys signed. Or, if this is a relationship, if you do something off the cuff and they can prove it, or they record it, or they have a witness or whatever, it will get used against you. It can get used against you. And then, you're going to struggle with custody, and if you have children, and all those details that will go into trying to make a clean break. So, but again, for others, it's just maybe other people aren't able to pick up the slack the way you were hoping, or they're not able to carry the weight that you were hoping. And so while you're excited about all of these opportunities and things moving forward, the weight of having to pick up after other people is just what's bothersome. 7 of Earth, seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. Okay, awesome. So 7 associated with partnerships, and in an Earth card. So really doing your best to stay grounded right now, because your work is starting to, the seeds that you've planted are starting to grow. It's about having patience right now, and there could be a lot of anxiety associated with it. Um, so what's so interesting is we got events moving at a fast pace with the first card, and this one has a lot of, well, what it said on the card, which was a temporary pause in action, potential halt in moving forward, but that it's just temporary. So really considering a new approach, I think, is a good way to look at these two cards. How have you been working with this person or these people? What lessons have you already learned, and you've been like, you know what, I already know this isn't working for us. I already know that that we need to revise our contract. We need to revise our relationship. We need to possibly work through some things and work at what we want next in a different way. And so you might have to put some plans on hold in order to review what that looks like, but doing that would just be temporary and it would really make a difference in how you're moving forward. Example, if you say, you know what, I know I can do this on my own. Thank you, ex-partner. Your heart's not in this anyway. I want to move forward and I'll buy you out. Or, in a romantic relationship, look, you've been threatening me to go back to X person for years. I'm tired of the threat. Let's just call it what it is and, let's move on independently. And so you might feel really alone during those times, and you might feel like, that your ship has sailed. But this is saying, no, you've already built the foundation. If it's the right person, the right relationship, the right work, the right contract, it will stay strong. But reviewing what is going on right now and being honest with yourself about what the status is can really benefit you. Page of Water. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Heightened psychic abilities. Yep. So if you do decide to do the work, and by that I just mean just being honest with yourself and the other person, really, a couple things can happen. The person can say, you know what, I'm really glad you talked to me about this because I've been wanting to tell you for a while that I don't like this work anymore and I don't want to be a partner with you. So you don't have to buy me out. Here it is. I'll leave, Or a romantic relationship, you say this to this person and they go, oh my gosh, no, I have no desire in leaving. And you're shocked and your relationship takes a whole nother step that you weren't even anticipating. So it could be the start of something. It could be the evolution of something you're currently in, but discussing your feelings, really paying attention to your intuition, paying attention to what you're getting intuitively at this time is really going to benefit. And I don't know if some of you out there are interested in dream research, but I think for some of you, you could potentially be getting symbols and images in your dreams, and you're kind of writing them off, but you're getting them a lot, or you're getting the same ones. So it could be beneficial to do a little research and figure out, what those symbols could mean for you personally. I don't know if some of you do that. I've gotten to into dream interpretation for a while, and it's, I mean, you know, you could spend hours. There are a lot of different sites. There are a lot of different approaches. There are a lot of different viewpoints about what it means. And I mean, obviously, I don't think any one person necessarily has the answer. But what I'm being called to say here is that I think for some of you, once you start doing that, there could be, for a few symbols, and I mean, it could be I always see a squirrel, or I always see the number 7, or I always get a chimney. I mean, whatever. And it wouldn't take long, for you to do a few searches, and you come up with something and see something, and you're like, oh my gosh, that fits exactly with what's going on with me right now. So yeah, just something to consider. The other thing I'm getting with this is that if a relationship does dissolve because you're just not on the same page, I think you could be very surprised with a new partnership, collaboration, romance that comes upon. It could be in July, but maybe later into the year, where you had already written that off. Nobody's going to understand this business like the last person. Nobody's going to understand me like my last relationship. Nobody's going to get it. For all their flaws and all their faults, they really know me, and it can. I think this is you being the intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly person in this equation. But what I think could be surprising to you is that a new person could enter with those same qualities, or your current person could suddenly spring forth some of these qualities that you're like, oh, where have those been for the last decade? I haven't seen those. Those were hiding. So just being honest, being real about what you're going through, why you're frustrated, why you need change, why you need somebody to step up, I think can help lead to some new growth. Queen of Earth, make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. Yeah, so I think this is coming up because, as I said in the beginning, as you're kind of ready to just toss, throw in the towel, dealing with challenges in a thoughtful way, being sympathetic to maybe what somebody else is going through and why maybe they're acting in a certain way. Giving people some time, giving people, and by that I mean some of your time, and just doing your best to be understanding, and I'm sure you care about them. I'm sure you're willing to help, but I think there's maybe just a sense of you showing in a sensitive way that, hey, if we're going to make a change, I just want to do it based on what works for both of us, something like that. Something that, and you'll craft your own message. I'm obviously not telling you what to say, but what you're trying to impart is that the reason you're having this conversation is because you're trying to do what's right for both of you. It's not to start a fight. It's not to get somebody in trouble. It's not to, kick somebody out. You're just trying to do what the next best step is. And if this person isn't happy either, why are you two, trying to make something work that won't work in this way? It could still work. It just needs work. It just needs further development. It needs new ideas. It needs some fresh insight. And you're asking this other person if they're willing to kind of meet you halfway. And I think you'll know very quickly. I think you'll know very quickly that, they're either very glad you brought it up because they're actually done, or they're really glad you brought it up because they need some help. They need you to help them figure that next step out. What is the next, and maybe that's part of the way that in your mind you can approach the conversation. I'm here to help. I'm here to help you. I want this to work. I want this to go well. And as you're working through that discussion with them, there's a possibility that they could kind of take some of the armor off and some of the, walls come down, and you find out this weighs a lot heavier on them than you thought. They're much more emotional about it than you thought, and that's where they're actually, they've been pushing your buttons to try to trigger this kind of conversation. Maybe even subconsciously, that's what they've been doing. See what else we get. Consult an expert. More information is needed. Contact someone with expertise in this area. Okay. So it's possible for some of you that, if this is a contract or a business arrangement or something that has ties to documents that are, that could be legal in nature, you don't have to go it alone if you're not an expert in law, or, this has a medical component or a real estate component. It's not necessary to have all the answers on your own when this isn't your field. If it's a romantic situation, maybe there's a therapist or a psychologist or a counselor or something that you all need to see, and maybe that's one of the points in the conversation that you can make. Look, we're at a crossroads. I'm willing to do this. And you find out a lot from people when they're willing to go to a third party. You find out how invested they are. And in the beginning, it might throw them off, and they could say, no way, that's not for me. I never do that. I don't need that. If we can't do it ourselves, it's not meant to be, or whatever. But my sense is that if you stand your ground and stay firm that, this is what we have to do in order to take the next step, they may need some time, but they'll go along with you. And whoever around this time in July or soon thereafter, whoever you all end up consulting to help has the potential to be just a real, of real benefit, of real use, like real concrete use, not just something that, is going to say a bunch of nice words and send you on your way. This is really saying that this person is, this is a divinely orchestrated resource for you now. This is synchronistic for you now. This is coming in because it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. And once you by yourself, or you and the other person or party seek that help, the universe is saying, we appreciate you wanting to do better, be better, and they want to give you the right consultant to guide you to more success and happiness and abundance. Yes, your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. So kind of going back to the beginning here, if you've got a sense that things are off, or you've got a sense that, yeah, you have to have this conversation, you probably do. If you have a sense that the other person is struggling, that's probably true. And whatever other, issue this could be for you personally, then this card is just basically giving you the green light that, yeah, your intuition is absolutely on, spot on. And you probably already know what your next move is, but it's tough because you're feeling like you need extra validation, or you're feeling like it's going to be more work if I, have this conversation or take this next step. But just knowing that your feelings are valid, that details will take care of themselves. I'm sure there's a lot that can go into whatever major decision that you could potentially be making, and we can get overwhelmed with all the reasons why we shouldn't do something and just keep things as they are. But this is saying that, all of that can get taken care of, and you're absolutely being supported in every way, but asking for help is really going to be the key, because once you see that you're in over your head, or you don't have the answers, and you're willing to get this advice, to get this to go to this next step, the universe will kick in and say, and have an appreciation for people who kind of drop the armor and are willing to do whatever it takes to make things right. And our power animal card is Dragonfly. You know who you really are. So, it's possible that some of you could have been feeling like, maybe you're not cut out for a relationship, or maybe you're not cut out for this business, or maybe this isn't, what you thought. Who you are is not really, maybe you think that you're wearing a mask of some kind. And maybe you are wearing a mask, and that's one of the things that, that we all do. I mean, we all have to do that in certain situations and with certain people. And in a lot of cases, it's a gift, because we adapt and wear masks so that they serve, whatever purpose at the time. The only challenge is kind of fooling yourself into thinking that you're one of these masks that you're wearing. And you don't need to rely on a mask. And you don't want to, and I think this goes back to the other person too. This is really strong for the other person. You don't want someone to wear a mask just so they stay in a partnership. You want them to be who they truly are, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to take a relationship to the next level, and know that it's really honest. And they could really be struggling with being honest with you and being honest about who they are. The challenging part of this card, I think, is you could be asked to accept whatever answer you get. So in other words, we can't want other people to be something they're not just so they stay with us. You know, we can't want somebody to be something they're not just to keep our business strong. You know, I mean, we do it, but pretending we don't know the truth and playing dumb and, you know, indulging people is just not that type of deception. I don't, it's not going to work for you very much longer if you try to maintain it, because I think that's part of why this frustration was coming up at the beginning of the reading. People are pushing your buttons, and it's because there needs to be a conversation, and whatever's going to come out of it, you're going to be fine. The other person's going to be fine. You know, the great part is that you'll get closer to who you are, and so will they. And that's not a bad thing. All right. Well, I hope that was valuable for you. Again, if you would like a personal reading from me, please go to my website, angelawakening.net, and I look forward to speaking with you all soon.